but we never know when family stuff is still kind of happening and going strong. So it's one of those kind of flying by the seat of our pants right now. So there we go. Again.
Yep.
Can you guys hear us okay? You guys? Okay. Hello and welcome, everybody. I'm Tammy. This is my hubby, Lance. I got Lance kind of squished out. You need to scooch over here, baby.
I'm good.
Calm to me, baby.
Don't worry.
Okay. All right. We'll get it together sooner or later. It's my hubby, Lance, and we are the Journey to Keto team, and we're trying to help everybody get back on track along with ourselves. Most of you know, we've just had some family catastrophes that we're trying to work through. So part of what the lesson we working on right now is literally how to push through this and keep our health as best as we can when life kicks you in the gut. And it's amazing to me how much the stress and lack of sleep and issues of life affect your journey. Even if you're staying good on your chronometer and you're staying good on your keto mojo and you're doing all the things, but life just kicks you in the gut and it just happens and it does affect our health. So the good lesson to remember in that and to prove to yourself is that the more your body is stressing, the more you're not sleeping, the more all of those things, it sounds like no big deal. And it just sounds like, oh, it's a bad day because you're not sleeping, or it's a bad day because you're stressed out. What that stress and that non-sleep really does to your health is really huge. So it's one of those things. So that's what we're going to kind of walk through a little bit tonight. Do you want to say again why we have KetoCon coming up May 31st, June 1st, June 2nd? Please use my code Journey or JTK50 if you plan on going. I know we're getting down to the wire on going, and this is one of those that we love Robin. We love Hack Your Health community, everything over there. And it's just a fun one to go to. We're all going to go stay at Olivia's house and we're going to show up on our doorstep.
Look at her face.
So, but getting down there, it is such a fun group. And there is just a wealth of knowledge going to be there this year. It is going to be over the top of the lineup if you look at who she has this year. So that one we highly, highly recommend. Hack Your Health on that one. And you can go to our website, journeytoketo.com, and get there if you want to. It'll be under events. So you can do that. What else we got? We're going to be pushing forward. So looking at your calendars, we want to get one good 8 weeks of fasting or sardine challenging. If you're a beginner, you're going to do a sardine challenge for 8 weeks. If you're in advanced, we're going to try to do clean fast for 8 weeks. We're hitting that 8-week protocol for anybody that your chemistry is right. If your chemistry is ready, we're going to push. We're going to get you on the calendar. But the whole setup right now is most of us get a little gap right now. I know in the States, we're coming off of, in Ohio here, we're coming off of our winter and everything. We're getting ready to head into spring. So we get those 2 months of we're not spring yet and we're still out. We're a little bit of winter dragging on. It's a great time to do those fasts to kick it off to be ready for when summertime really kicks in. So those kind of things, you got to work it into your schedule anywhere you can and do the best you can do. And it's just not always easy, and it's not always easy to fit it in, but the best we can do on our calendar is making sure we have no big weddings, graduation parties, all those things, or whatever we need to get those in, get it in before we hit all those. So you'll have a strong chemistry to head into those with everything good. Again, follow our group over on Journey to Keto on Facebook. And if you guys will all do me a favor and go like and follow our business page. Excuse me. It's one of those things that we got the private pages up and going, and we have to get the business page up and going to get affiliates to work. So until then, we work for free. So we just appreciate you going over there, following it, sharing. And
what is the business page?
Business page is Journey to Healing, Health, Wellness, Home, and Beauty. So there's just a little bit of everything over there. That's where we can do the massage stuff. That's where we can do the home stuff, all the fun stuff over there. But we've got to get that over 1,000 to get qualified for a lot of the affiliate programs. So cost you guys nothing to hit that follow or invite people that you know and that we might be able to help. We just appreciate it. And it really helps us be able to keep making content and keeps us from working for free until we can get there. So we appreciate it, and we really do. So we are a big family and appreciate any help we can get. So come on. I know last week we really went into a ramble. Going to try not to cry this time and be emotional. So I'm going to let you guys check in this week and help you through any struggles that you're having and go. So let's start out. Linda, come on in and check in. Tell me how you're doing. Any questions? A win, a struggle, and what's your goal?
Okay. The win is that I did a successful 3-day sardine challenge. Thank you.
That
Thank
is
you,
not
Thank
easy.
you, fans. Thank
That is
you.
not easy. Good job.
Yeah, that and it wasn't bad, right? The timing was good. My numbers were really good. I was very encouraged, and so then the struggle, right, is doing it again, and I haven't managed to get that started. Is my husband's TV feeding back through there? Can you hear it? Is it distracting anybody? Okay. If it's not, then I will just ignore it. And so it I've been trying. So like I haven't even actually. Part of the problem is that Mr. Wonderful, provides lovely meals in the evening. So yeah, it's not Lance. Okay, it's not Lance. It's my Mr. Wonderful.
You're Mr. Wonderful.
You're Mr.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
yeah.
Can he cook earlier in the day? And
Not Mr.
No,
Obey.
because I don't get home to. So he's also known as Mr. Hallmark because of his love for all things romance movies.
Nice.
Also known occasionally as the pine tree because he's full of sap. And so anyway, so
I like that one.
yeah, I know. So anyway, he fixed these wonderful pork chops yesterday, and like, I mean, they're really good. And I ate the pork chop, and that was all I ate. So I mean, I did the carnivore thing, but it wasn't the little gray critters from the tin, you know what I'm saying? And then tonight I came home and he had steak tips, and I was like, oh, my life is so difficult. I'm gonna have to eat steak tips.
I was going to say,
instead.
you have it so well.
And thank you for understanding my pain.
Man,
So-
I'm telling you.
So now, having said that, I hadn't eaten since last night. So, I'm in a 23-1 cycle, but I haven't been able to get onto my sardine challenge this week yet. So I'm going to give it another try tomorrow and see if I can even get it started. And then if I can get it started, then it's battling through. So that then also brings me to a sort of second challenge, which is the sense of making up for what I missed while I was going through the challenge. And I would dearly, dearly love to know how you guys who've been doing this for years manage to, because I mean, if you do any fast, do it for 3 days, that then leaves 4 days for healthy, normal keto eating before you go back to the 3 days again. And it doesn't feel like very long. This feels like a really long 3 days. This feels like a very, very short 4 days.
Absolutely.
And the motivation, yes, I can see you laughing, so I know I'm not alone. Thank you so much. But that motivation to do it again, and I haven't even really done the fast. I must confess, Tammy, when you're talking about we're going to fast, I was like, I'm not sure. I can't even reliably get through a sardine challenge 2 weeks in a row. So I don't think I'm ready for the whole fasting thing yet. And I'm okay with maybe not getting there right now. If I could get to 8 weeks of sardine challenge, I would be stoked. So that's what you said. The win, what was it? The win, the
struggle,
the
and any questions?
How do I reset my mind? Really?
First of all, I want to say your win, getting through your sardine challenge. Congratulations.
That's a mindset right there.
That's a mindset, and that is a chemistry win. So the two things that proved to you, first of all, you're not going to die if you don't eat a whole bunch of food all the time.
Yes, that's true.
Sardines will keep you alive, whether you like to believe it or not. So
sardines with Primal Kitchen buffalo mayo are actually very, very tasty. So
Absolutely.
Very good. So
that's my good.
Again, that is a win. So congratulations. Hang on. It's coming.
Just sneeze.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm going to take off on your other 4 days on your
Thank you.
other week. There's 2 ways to play that. You can celebrate your 3 days that you did. You can celebrate for those 4 days, but it makes your next 3 days that much harder.
Yes.
and that's exactly where I'm going. Yeah.
Or you can put the mindset on of you have 4 days to prepare for your next go round. And
Okay.
you take it in that kind of frame of mind to where The first day, you can kind of recoup a little bit, but don't go too far off the rails or anything like that. No celebrations or anything. You can kind of recoup, but then you grab the next 3 days of how can I prepare better for me to go through this again. So you need to stay more consistent. Only stay in that 23-and-1 window really tight and only have a small portion of whatever. May not be sardines, but make sure that every bite that you take is a good bite. And when I say good bite, is a fat-filled
nutritional
bite. I mean,
yeah,
that's where you need to set yourself up.
Yeah.
Yep. Set yourself up for that, because you're going to turn on that fat burning machine, and then you're going to have to feed that animal. And what you feed it is fat.
Okay. That does. Yes.
On the mindset in that, Linda, I would encourage you to go ahead and whatever time you get that meal in you, whether it's a 1 hour, 2 hour eating window, whatever you're down to, get that food in you. And then I would really challenge you, make yourself busy or do something you enjoy. Make yourself stay busy. So you're not thinking about food is not the highlight of the night. There you go.
Yeah, you're knitting,
crochet and knit,
whatever.
Knit the daylights out of everything, but do something that keeps your hands busy, your mind busy.
Romance with the hubby.
There you go. We're blessed to have Hopeless Romantic for husbands, so take advantage of that. It is just a blessing to have that we enjoy our spouse's company. That go do something. If that means go for a walk, get out of the house, do something besides concentrating on the food. Do not do a celebration meal. Just like he was saying, remember that meal coming up with that is what's going to set you up. Like he said, for the next week, the more you stimulate, the more you throw in there, the more you have to deal with, the harder that next one's going to be. So it is that moment of this is your plan and prep to get ready to go again. And if you keep it stupid simple and don't push outside the boundaries as far as your eating window goes, don't push out adding sweetness back in, don't push out on all the little things that will trigger that ghrelin and make you want more food again. So we want to keep that.
If you think about it like this, you've put your headphones on for 3 days straight. Now you don't want to go back to the chaos and noise. Still keep it down, keep the volume down, and keep everything on a nice even keel through those next 4 days. Then the following 3 days will be easier. And every time you do that, you build on it and make it easier and set yourself up for those 3 days.
Like for us right now,
you get more out of it. You really do.
And going into the spring like we are right now, we are just on, I see his brain kicking in. He's kicking in energy wise. So we start projects on the house. This is when we get the spring cleaning done. This is when we do projects. We get busy because we enjoy doing that together. He can take something out of my head and make it happen, and it's like, it's a good feeling and we enjoy it. It's not work. It's not like we're working all day, but there's times we just keep going on the projects that we love doing together.
It keeps us busy.
It keeps us busy and off. Supper is just a detail we got to get in, but it's not the highlight of our night.
Then back to work,
back to what we're trying to accomplish or trying to do, or it's not really that we're skipping anything, but the shift in it is, okay, what are we eating tonight? I finished up early today. I trying to do a little bit working on my numbers because my numbers are still in the tank. So I finished up 3:00 this afternoon. When he walked in, it was eggs. I gave him eggs and part of his leftover steak from last night. It was a 15-minute supper. We're done and out of the kitchen. Now it's just that mindset of food is not the priority.
Right.
And it's definitely not the highlight of our night. So kind of keep that in mind on those days that you're refeeding. That it's really important. One thing I will tell you, working in with that sardine challenge right now, it has to be a mindset of, are you ready? Are you ready to push, even though 8 weeks of sardines, whatever that is? I know right now I am still struggling. I am just an emotional roller coaster. 1 minute I'm fine, the next minute I'm not. 1 minute I'm fine, next minute I'm not. We had family dinner yesterday with my daddy and we got to go spend time with family. And it is that emotional roller coaster. We talk about my brother, we cry. It's just, everything is still up and down. I'm struggling. We were planning on starting the sardine thing again Sunday. And I needed that time and family and meal time with my family. I needed it. And it's not a cop out.
So, yeah, you haven't started your sardine challenge for this week. Are you going to?
I'm trying. I'm trying to get there.
Me too. So, I ate my dinner tonight. So tomorrow morning would be my, get up and have my I either eat my tin of sardines in the morning and start in the morning, right? Or if I hold off my that could be my 23-and-1 and just eat in the morning instead of eating in the evening at all.
And I do better on it, and you may too, Linda. If I can stay busy, like I have back-to-back appointments now, I'm trying to catch up all the doctor's appointments. I'm back in therapy. If I can stay physically busy, I'm fine not eating. I can just scarf on a can of sardines and be done and run.
Yeah.
And that's easier for me. It's more the emotional thing right now. I don't know what it is with me. I've never grieved like this, maybe is new to me.
Yeah.
So the grieving process is a process I've not been through as much. I'm learning. So it's one of those trying to push my body as best as I can, but there's just that part of,
And
I'm exhausted.
Here's a learning lesson for you too. I mean, you can try to push as hard as you need to push, but sometimes you need to stop and take a break and refocus and take that minute to get to the right place to where you have the energy to go forward. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Thank you.
Anyway, we have visitors, so hang on one second.
We're trying to call. No, come here. You can come and say hi. Sorry. Everybody meet my granddaughter, Claire.
This is Claire.
Hi, sorry.
Hi, Claire.
Stops to see Nana when I'm working.
Right. I always show up at the worst times. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Come here,
You're
Thor.
good. You're good, baby.
Go lay down. Anyway,
So keep it moving forward. Do the best you can do. Don't beat yourself up. Again, it's got to fit. I had every intention of starting Sunday and I couldn't do it. I needed that connection. And if that connection was a supper around the supper table with my daddy and my mama, I took it. So
sometimes you're fighting too much stuff to concentrate on what you need to do
at one time,
and it's an overload to your system and you will crash. I mean, she has crashed. So we need to say time out. This is not the right time to push us. We're just going to kind of idle.
But we were there. I still ate meatloaf. I didn't jump off the rails. I just had meatloaf.
But we're gonna call it time, and we're just gonna kind of regroup here. Let her get in the right frame of mind, and then we'll take off. So
you got to work with it. You got to not be so rigid. It's not an excuse. Don't hear me saying I'm trying to make an excuse for myself. It's not an excuse, but it is a reality of it's just not right this season. It's not that I'm not going to do it. It's just I'm struggling today. Tomorrow I will try again.
And you'll have those seasons where you're gangbusters, where you can't be stopped. But there are also seasons where you can't get started either. So,
and that means hold tight. Like I said, it doesn't mean I jump ship. It just means I'm holding tight. And that just meant a plate of meatloaf last night. So we're good to go. So you got this, Linda. Stay focused, stay directed, get a plan. And if sardines are what you can do for the 8 weeks, that's a win.
Decide what you want to do with those 4 days. It is totally up to you.
Get busy.
It's not going to hurt us at all. So
right.
That's your call.
Yep. And sometimes we just need that time. So I'm trying to say it so I hear it, but don't beat yourself up. We got to do the best we can do.
I would vote for prepare for the next 3 days.
Yep.
Prepare 4 days for the next 3. Yep.
Come on in, Olivia. Come and say hi. Welcome. Everybody doesn't know Olivia is our in-house rock star. So we're just so proud of her. She always does the best, but Olivia is a veteran. So the things she'll be talking about are veteran level. She's been at this for 5 years. So this is what happens. This is where you can see yourself 5 years down the road, chemistry wise. And she's mastered it.
With work and consistency.
Yes. Come on in, Olivia. We miss you. Good to see you.
Hi, everybody. Yes, Linda, I was going to tell you that we've all been where you're at right now. It's really difficult at the beginning to get your mind around, I'm going to go 3 days without eating any food. It is a lot easier with the sardines, but even after a while, when you do, like I did 2 or 3 8-week water fast in a row a couple of years ago. And even after that, sometimes you just psychologically and physically just want a break, and that's okay. To do that, you just have to, like, they were saying, you have to kind of psychologically and physically be ready for it. And if you're not, that's okay. But it is much harder if you go into a 72-hour fast, if you're not in ketosis. because I've done that too, and my numbers aren't as good, and I don't feel as good, and yeah. So hang in there. You're going to get there. You're a trooper.
Right.
Yeah. Or that, or she's stubborn.
That helps too.
That helps
Right.
too.
Yeah. But anyway, this week I'm doing a 48-hour fast. I'm not doing the 72 hours as much anymore. So I'm doing a 3 48-hour fast and 1 72-hour fast a month. Only because I've surpassed the weight loss part that I had a goal for, and I don't want to lose anymore.
But how beautiful is that? She's reached her goals. That isn't she's just quitting or stopping. That means she reached the goals that she was trying, her health markers, all the numbers that she wanted to, she's reached them. So
And now she just fine tunes it to what she wants.
so
Yeah, and I still want that autophagy, and I want the growth hormone because I do have osteopenia, and I'm working on trying to reverse that. And so that's why I still want to put in that at least 1 72-hour fast a month. But feeling good. So I checked my numbers right before we came on again just to see what they were. And my DBR was 18. So
That's impressive.
So I will finish my 48-hour fast tomorrow morning at 9:50 in the morning. I find it easier. I used to have dinner and then finish my fast, kind of time it that way. But for me now, it seems easier if I finish in the morning because I try to have my meals, both the 2 meals that I do have, finished by 12:30, 1 o'clock. And so my first meal of the day is usually around between 8:30, 9:30. So I'll be done tomorrow morning. And then next week, I probably will do a 72-hour fast. So,
Olivia's got the plan. And I just want to throw out there, all of us women on here that are north of 40, 50 years old. Okay. What she's saying, where she finishes that eating window at noon, there is some magic that happens in that. Now, I've not done it on a steady basis. I've hit and missed and done that because it's hard to do. It's hard to sit and watch hubby eat dinner. He doesn't get home till 4:30 at 5 o'clock at night. So that was our bonding time. But like tonight, I finished up at 2 or 3, and I just want to show you all the difference. My numbers have been god awful. I mean, we're talking, I've been having glucoses of 110, 115 in the evenings. So for me, even waking up, I mean, they've been awful. My sleep is off, everything. Just me stopping eating today, it was probably about 2:30. Nothing else has changed. And I have my CGM on.
It's backwards, but that's a 94.
It's a 94. For me right now, that's really good. So, but it is taking me, and I'm already seeing in just a few hours, I'm 5 hours in that a closed eating window, and my glucose is already dropping down to 94. I will be really curious to see what it is tomorrow morning. But I'm saying all of us girls north of 40 that are dealing with hormones and issues and sleep and the lack of sleep, all of those things, one of the big answers is going to be to close that eating window early. And I can't do it every night of the week. It just doesn't fit into my schedule. But for my health right now, I think it needs to be a priority of just closing that eating window up early. So
and you can, and it's just one simple change. It's just,
Yep.
You move it just back a little bit.
And I was fine. I wasn't, because I ate eggs and part of my leftover steak from last night. And I ate that and I'm fine. I'm full. I'm still satiated from 2 o'clock this afternoon. And I just sat with him and had some warm tea while he ate his dinner. I was fine. I still got to be with him, still got to sit with him, still got to catch up on our day, but I just didn't eat with him. And there's nothing in me that feels neglected or anything because I'm full.
She got to talk more.
Yeah. Well, he ate. Imagine that. So little lesson learned, but Olivia, I love it. And just know for her to finish up at noon, that is a big win.
Yep.
That's just huge. And that's how, I mean, when you see me talk about Olivia over on the page or whatever, when she has a DBR of 4, that's how she got there. I mean, that's how she's got there, because that's the discipline of stopping at noon and not eating for the rest of the day. And she has family in, she has a husband to feed. That's not easy. That is mindset, that is planning, and that is some downright bullheadedness. So I'm just so proud of you and I love it. So that's what we got to do though. Those little changes has given her health back. has given her her ideal weight back, has given her all those things that she's trying to do, hitting that human growth hormones and everything so she can take care of the issues that she's still dealing with. She's got a plan, you know, and if that means doing a 72 once a week or once a month or whatever it comes out to for her, then that's just a win-win. So Olivia, we're so proud of you and we're just glad you're here.
Good job.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're our goal. You're our goal. Come on in, Jennifer. You want to come check in? Give us a win, give us a struggle, and a question.
Okay. A win. I've done 2 fasts so far.
Clean or sardine?
One was a 48 clean and one was a 72-hour sardine.
Sweet.
Nice.
But
You know you can do it, right?
I know I can do it. I had no doubts, I guess, that I could do it. It's just being bullheaded enough to do it.
Yeah.
So my question is, I guess this is a question, I guess, because after those 2, my ketones were like 2.5 before I did that first fast, and then the next week they were in the 2s, but then the week after that, whenever I came off the fast, my ketones started going down in the 1s, and my glucose went up. So I'm just, I haven't really been eating differently. I think I was doing two meals a day, finishing around 4, which was kind of what I was doing before I did the OMAD, right before the fast. Now I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. What's happening with my system right now?
Okay, so part of that, keep in mind, good job, first of all, on the sardine and the clean fast. So what happens is you clean up that glucose. So you go to, whether it's a sardine clean fat or whether it's a clean fast or a sardine challenge. Either way, if you're not putting any other carbs in your body, you're cleaning up glucose. So that means there's glucose in the liver, there's glucose in the muscles, there's glucose stored everywhere. So you're burning some of that up. You're using some of that as you're not introducing any more coming in. And what happens when you do those fasts or the challenges, of course, your body's running out of, it's like, woo, you're not bringing anything in. So we're going to go dig it up and we're going to go find some for fuel because it still wants fuel. So that glucose will drop down, which allows those ketones to go up. So as that glucose drops, the ketones will rise. When you reintroduce food and you go off of that schedule and you go back to eating, even if it's a sensible eating and you're within your carbs and all that good stuff, you're still introducing some carbs. So that glucose will go back up, which is going to drop the ketones. And now you're down to the point of when you're fasting, you're really pushing that liver. You're really pushing that liver to make ketones. You're stressing everything. When you finish that and you go to put food back in, now that stress has to change again because your body kind of goes back. So yes, you clean some stuff up. The liver's getting a little better. Your body's learning how to do it. But now we got to teach your body how to do it while you're eating, while you're having some protein coming in and things like that. It's just a transition of letting your liver learn how to make better ketones and your body learning how to use ketones for fuel. All that transition is happening. So you're perfectly fine. You're doing great. It's just, it's going to teeter as you clean up stored glucose, as the liver gets the glycogen out, as the muscles let go of the stored glucose in there. As all of those changes happen, those will fluctuate. So you're doing fine. That's great that if you've done a 72 and you've done a sardine challenge, I would just encourage you, like we're talking about, get on your calendar. How can you get in a rhythm to keep doing it? Think of it kind of like deep spring cleaning. For the next few months, it was really good while you were spring cleaning. Fasting is spring cleaning. You're doing that deep cleaning, but when everybody starts living in the house again, doesn't matter how clean you got it, you got to keep doing the work.
And think about it too. You're teaching your body.
Yeah.
How do you learn something? You learn something by repetition, consistently doing it again and again and again and again. You have to treat your body the same way. You do that, you do your 48-hour fast and your body says, oh, okay, that was a pretty good stress. I got through it. And now I need to get back to where I was. And it throws glucose out into your system to use because that's what it used to use for fuel. It's a natural reaction of your body to say, hey, I need some more of that because I need some fuel to recover from that stress I just went under. When you get back into that stress, you teach your body again, hey, I'm going to go through another stress. I'm going to pull some more sugar out, but I'm not going to put any more in. So it pulls it out, it gets into your system and goes again, and you gobble it up and use it. But if you don't put any back in, that puts you even in a better spot. So you're teaching your body how to suck out all that glucose, use it, burn it up, get it out of the way. And now we're going to teach it how to make ketones and run off of ketones. Because after the sugar's gone, your body's going to look for a ketone because that's all it's going to be there.
It
You know what I
is just
mean?
it's a consistency thing.
Do that consistently, that'll teach your body.
Because you're going to just think when you go to if you did a fast this week and then you eat for the 4 days and you go back into a 72-hour, whether sardines or clean fast, whichever one you're doing, it's the same principle. You are not putting more carbs in. So your body's going to clean up a little bit deeper. So, okay. So now you're a little cleaner than you was last week. Now you're going to eat sensibly for 4 days. Then you're going to do it again. That is why when Dr. Boz talks about those 8 weeks of consistency of keep doing it, that is just, you're getting a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better each week. So it's staying consistent, and it's going to be key. And sometimes it is frustrating because when you're doing the work and you don't see the numbers, or you're doing the work and you see the numbers go up, it still gets hard.
Yeah. My DBR has gone up in the 80s now.
Yeah.
So where it was in the 60s and even lower. Sometimes it was below 40, but yeah.
But that's the magic of when you are fasting. That is the beauty of fasting. And when you can get like the numbers like Olivia does, and you're hitting autophagy, now you're cleaning up cells. Now you're cleaning up and growing new healthy cells. I mean, just the stuff that happens when you hit those lower DBRs, that's where the magic is happening. That is where we actually are changing and reversing damage. My
DBRs were lower before I even did a first fast. So
nice. But again, that's showing
it was time to do it. So
yeah, it is. And it's time to keep pushing, because you're going to keep cleaning that glucose out. You're going to keep pulling it out of the cells. You're going to clean out that glycogen out of the liver. You're going to keep doing that as you progress through it every week.
Okay.
So, good job. Welcome.
Of course.
Right. We're on that same boat. Let's keep going. So we got this. Come on in, Sue. Come and check in.
Oh, I'm struggling, I think. I mean, I'm getting tired of messing with it. It's what I'm doing. It's not staying down. I mean, I had the same numbers for 4 days in a row. The exact same numbers. So I thought, well, I'm going to down my protein a little bit and up that fat and see if that'll make something move. Oh, yeah, it moved all right. I had a DBR of 202 today. And this is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm getting tired of it.
So has what you ingested changed any? I mean, did you eat anything different?
No.
Okay.
I did have one splurge on Saturday afternoon. I mean, I had room on my macros. I had heavy whipping cream, and I ate it with some stevia. That's the only thing different.
Okay. So that right there in itself, this is one of the lessons I always teach over in my coaching group. And most of my veterans have heard me say that. Heavy cream is the nemesis of so many people in this group, that it's one of those things. And here's how I put it. It fits perfectly in my macros, because I'm usually maybe 5 carbs a day, if that. It fits perfectly in my macros, but it does not fit in my body. My body will spike up every time I put cream. And cream is my hug right now. Cream is it's just that treat that I need in that damn coffee or whatever. It's a hard lesson to learn. Drop of stevia, sweetness on my tongue. I don't care if it's stevia, monk fruit, any sweetness on my tongue will spike me. Well, I can't say spike. It's not a huge, but it will raise my numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So
I figured that was part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's sad, because if, when you do it, when you have the discipline to use it as a treat, and it's not an everyday thing, it's not an all the time, and you still get a reaction like that, that is your body. That's your check engine light coming on saying, hey, pay attention to me. So it's either cool it, wipe out the cream. As much as we hate to do it, most of the veterans you will find in the classes have got to wipe the cream out for a while to get over that hump, to get those numbers good. It fits in your macros, but our bodies give an anti-inflammatory response to the love of cream. So it's sometimes switch over. I know like if you use it in your coffee, I know the butter is a little bit of a transition. You can go over to just the butter with no cream, but the
I
cream
do that.
the
I
cream
can
is
do
just
that,
yeah.
but I wanted more. Well, yeah. I don't know if you know Two Crazy Ketos, but she says she has a drive-by with aerosol whipping cream. She keeps it in the refrigerator, and every time she goes by, she eats a squirt. Well, I like that too. But I thought maybe the heavy whipping cream would be better. So yeah, that's probably my problem. But I'm getting tired of taking numbers and they're not showing anything. I'm aggravated with it. I went and hid the scale today, so I can't find it anymore because I was back up 3 pounds this week. And it's like, come on. I bounced between 217 and 214, and I cannot get below that.
So I would just kind of hit pause for a minute and let's shoot clean up. Let's just clean up what you're doing and do it perfectly or as close to perfect as we can. You're not going to need perfection, but let's clean up any of the noise to eliminate that and then push you forward again. But you might, first of all, I know you've been going pretty strong. So you may need a little pause for a minute of, I'm not saying jump off by any means. I just mean hold tight, but clean up those little things you can clean up.
Yeah.
Make sure maybe the eating window go a little bit earlier, wipe out the cream as much as we hate to do it, but that is what most of the veterans have to do is wipe out the cream.
I still eat 23-1. So
Yep.
there's not much more cleaning up to do with that other than to go with the fasting. Now, the fasting you're talking about is going 3 days on, 4 days off for 8 weeks. Now, is it just a plain water fast? Is it
When we say clean fast,
can we put butter in our coffee?
okay,
No.
let's clarify some of those things. So clean fast, when we say clean fast, that means nothing but water, salt, black coffee, black tea. That's a clean fast. Okay. Now, if you're doing the sardine, we don't call it a fast. It's a sardine challenge. It is just a challenge for the 3 days. If you're hungry, you eat sardines. Go read the blog over on journeytoketo.com. We have the sardine challenge blog over there, and it gives you the good, better, best. If you want it to be the good sardine challenge or the better sardine challenge or the best way to do a sardine challenge. There's 3 levels, just like Dr. Boz does on everything. We do the good, better, best. I'll have Lance put the link over there. But that'll talk you through it. So when we say clean fast, we mean salt water or water, salt, Redmond salt, always, only, black coffee, black tea. Now,
Okay.
living on a splurge, I have, I'll put a link over on the thing. I can use Good Earth chai tea. No sweetener in it, no cream in it, no nothing, but I can use that tea and it does not jack me up. So that's my treat. I don't need cream in it. I don't need anything, but it's just that treat. So when we're saying a clean fast, it's literally, that is what it is.
Okay, I was taught before no tea of any kind because it's a plant-based and it was just not good for you. So I have a real hard time looking at tea on the shelf and going, well, what do I buy? So
fine. You don't want one with a bunch of flavors in it. You want a good black tea and a black coffee. Just as good as you can find. Do the best. Check your numbers. It will tell you if there's something. I have other teas that I can't even look at.
Don't overthink it.
Yeah.
Keep it simple.
Don't make it harder than it is.
There's something else I learned today in Chronometer, and I don't know if any of you have ever heard of it, but if you go to your macro settings in Chronometer, there is a setting over there, and I'm trying to get to it too for you. My target, my macro. When you look at the top and it says set macro using, if you hit that down button, there's a keto calculator.
Yes, that's how we all should be set.
Oh, mine was not. I did not know that till today. And then down where it says select keto program, this person said rigorous? Dr. Boz says rigorous.
Yep.
Okay.
And the next one you want to change is
that evidently resets all your macros to what you see. That was my question, was how do I know where I'm at and what I need to be eating?
Oh,
have you taken keto continuum, Stu? Have you done the keto continuum?
Yes,
Okay.
but I
so-
don't remember this part.
Yeah, when she takes you through setting up your chronometer, you change those 3 settings. You change the first one that says keto keto calculator. You change the second one to rigorous, and you change the third one to total carbs instead of net carbs.
Heck,
That
it was,
changes.
it was all I could do to find to change it to the DBR.
Right.
You're
Those
Yeah.
3 things really do matter because that is what sets your macros apart. That is what sets us. That's how we get over these humps. So that may be part of your problem. So you may have
That's
just
what
answered
I'm
your own
thinking.
question. Absolutely.
Because I didn't do that till late this afternoon, and I'm already 243% on protein alone.
Right. So
Yeah,
you just answered all your own
over.
questions, Sue.
Right. So I think that was part of my problem. And I know Jeff's on there listening, and that was one thing I wanted to tell him because I know he hasn't said his that
Yeah.
way either.
Yes.
So that might make a difference in the next week or so. I
Absolutely.
don't know.
It will make a huge difference because when you go and see what all your numbers come up to, it really will change things. So that's a big chemistry shift to have that set correctly. That's the difference of just doing, I'm not trying to, I really don't mean this disrespect. That's the difference of doing just normal keto out there that everybody can try to do and doing drboz style. We are we're always under 20 carbs. Most of us are usually under 15. Most of us are under 10, and the majority of my veterans are probably under 5. So that's just normal for us. That's the difference of if you go out there, there's other coaches that teach keto at 50, 100, 150 carbs a day.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not for my audience. I'm too sick to have 50 carbs a day.
Yeah.
My mitochondria, my cells are too sick. At 50 carbs a day, I would never heal the issues I'm trying to heal. So,
and of course, my coffee, I know it counts carbs too. So I have to be careful. Even though it's decaf, I still have carbs in it.
Yeah.
So that,
and what the carbs in a coffee that, that's where you start to split hairs, but you got to find out if it affects your body, then you got to go with it. The carbs in the coffee are usually the part of the grounds that settle to the bottom that most of us pour out, and we don't drink that.
They take those into account.
That's taken into account in that. But again, this is where the coffee and the tea is kind of splitting hairs. So if you can still get good numbers, but I will say there have been teas that throw me. And if I turn them around and look at it, it's not just black tea. If you turn around, you look at the ingredients.
Good Earth chai tea.
Yep.
Good Earth chai does not mess me up. Hang on, I can't listen.
Okay, I'll check and see if I can find that. Okay,
I will put the link over in the group. How's that for you?
Okay, that works. So right then, that's where I'm at. I'm not going to be weighing. I'm going to maybe not take my numbers for a couple days just so I can regroup.
I would still challenge you to take your numbers just so you can watch the change.
Yep.
Well, hopefully,
and here's something too. You may have hit a plateau where your body's is saying, okay, I'm going to be right here.
Time out for a minute.
No matter what you do, your body's going to say, I'm going to be right here for a minute because I need to rest. And you're going to ride that plateau. That's where you need to not overthink it. You know what you're doing, stay consistent in it, and then your body will take off again when it's ready. And it
especially if you just reset your macros.
It's very frustrating. And I think your macro thing is going to help a lot.
Yeah.
But you may have to ride that plateau because every one of us goes through that plateau. At one point, I couldn't make a ketone to save my rear end. I mean, I was like 1.9, 0.8, and then all of a sudden, boom, it took off, and I started making ketones. Well, I had to ride that plateau, and she kept saying, what are you doing? I said, I'm not doing anything. I'm doing this, and I had to ride that plateau out, and all of a sudden, my body said, oh, okay, this is how we do it.
Yeah.
So,
well, I started 100% the day after Thanksgiving last year, and I have only lost from 220 to 217. So something ain't working.
Well, you may have something else to be healing first.
And
that's what
Sue,
I
will jump right along with you. First of all, your macros are going to make a huge difference. So I will really challenge you and be curious to watch the next couple weeks coming up. But I will tell you, as you guys can all see, I'm 40 pounds overweight again. Just from the stress. That is not from, I don't jump ship. I don't eat crazy, just stress. I haven't slept in 6 months since I hurt my shoulder. I can't lay flat. I cannot stay asleep for more than 2 hours. all of those little stressors, having to take the meds, having to take pain meds to go to therapy, coming out of therapy in pain every day, all of those stupid little things that one thing sounds like no big deal, but when you put them all together, my numbers are awful. And for me, it's just, that's what I mean, my kids, my family, everybody, it's like, I'm trying to get back on track, but my body is just had enough from the emotional roller coaster, from the surgery. I mean, I've been put to sleep 8 times in the last 2 years. It's just too much, it's just, I need a timeout. And don't look at it as a failure, but I have weight on me again. I don't feel good again. My energy is gone, but it's all of those things. I can't blame it on, it's not the program we're working. It's life that keeps kicking me in the gut, that it's like, you got to sometimes just look at the bigger picture. You're doing great. You're staying in, you've got this mastered. I see what you're posting. I see what you're doing. For the most part, as soon as you make any tweak that feels like you're going in the wrong direction, you correct and move forward. That's exactly what we got to do.
That's what we're doing. I've started working out at the gym a little bit to get my legs stronger. I mean, I already do 6 and 7 hours of swimming a week. That I've done that for 6, 8 years. We're starting to hike. It's something I still haven't got 2 miles down, but we're walking.
Pretty good.
That was awesome.
And here's something else I learned this week. I'm listening to everything I can hear. I feel really thin between my rib cage and my waist. I'll sit in there and watch TV and I feel thin. Something isn't right. Well, then I listened to something that somebody said about visceral fat. I did not realize that the visceral fat is around your organs in your belly.
That's visceral fat.
Visceral. I didn't realize that's what it was. Well, that's what's happened. Even though I haven't lost weight, I have lost that because I feel thin.
And that is the best fat to lose. That's the most unhealthy fat to have.
Yeah.
So good for you.
Here's another thing too. But if you're starting to hike, you're
going to build muscle.
You're going to build muscle. Well, you're going to use fat, build muscle, and you're not going to notice any weight loss.
Yeah.
Because you're building muscle.
Right.
So you're moving more. You're doing that. So you may not see the weight loss, but you're going to see the health benefits of it.
Yeah.
And Sue, when we have I have so much cellular damage from the inside for so many years since chemo went in my body at the age of 35 and I'm 57. So since chemo went in my body, I have had that many years of damage, of toxins, of everything. We have to heal at the cellular level to make that weight happen. Weight is a happy side effect of being healthy.
Basically, your body's like the perfect machine. It knows where it needs to heal first because it's in the most urgent damage needs to be healed first. So your body will heal that and maybe not lose weight.
I mean,
heal this.
And when you look at it, I get bummed because I do still have weight to carry. And I do this work and I stay consistent and I'm years into this program and I still have weight to lose. It's frustrating as hell. I'm not going to lie to you. But you know what I don't have? I'm not in heart failure anymore. Yeah. I'm not on 120 milligrams of Oxycontin. Yep. I don't walk and hobble all day long because my neuropathy is so bad. I can't walk. I don't have seizures anymore. I could go through a million things of, nope, I still have weight to lose and it sucks and it stinks and I get annoyed and I get ticked off because I work too hard to still be overweight. I mean, my normal weight as an adult was about 110 pounds. So to be at my weight right now is just frustrating as heck. This is not where my body's happy. This is not what my body carries. But I know I'm working at the cellular level. I know what I've changed and healed through the years. So Sue, just stay consistent, stay doing it. You're healing from the inside out. The weight will be the happy accident that we will get there. And when you're healthy, that weight will fall right off and you're going to get there. So we're just proud of you, Sue. So
I'm waiting on it.
I'm with you, girlfriend. You're not alone.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
You're welcome, honey. Come on in, Terry. Come on in. Tell us how you're doing. What's going on? Terry looks fed up. Hang on. We got you muted, hon.
Today was my last day of the third week of the sardine challenge.
Nice.
And yeah, it bothered me this time.
You're in the
I
top spot.
I was yesterday, no problem. Today, had a hard time keeping them down once I ate them. But I stuck it out, and I'm done now.
Go for
But
you.
Didn't realize it was going 8 weeks. Not looking forward to the next one, but
Well, just know that is just a challenge, Terry, that we put in there. If you really want to work on the brain health and everything like that, that's getting the challenge going to get you set up for the long term of the clean fast down the road. So that's all that's doing, is it's just training you and teaching you. But when you learn how hard that is, and when it stirs up all those issues that you find in those 3 days, it's amazing how many of those issues, whether it's a habit, a coping skill, whatever issues you're dealing with, you learn to deal with them. So good for you.
We when I started this, my blood sugar was 365.
Ooh.
Today it was 122.
Yes.
And that is a matter of weeks. We're not talking months. We are saying in weeks. That is what going from a diabetic to a non-diabetic can do for you in a month. So any diabetics out there, I challenge you, please. It's not jumping ship and changing all of life, but to go from the 300s down into the low 100s, Terry, you are deep cleaning. You are turning that around. You are healing. You are reversing diabetes every day.
I was going to say that. I don't know if you know how huge that is.
It's
I mean,
huge.
that is a huge step. I mean, that
Well,
is
I was getting
killer.
worried. I was getting worried that my pancreas wasn't working anymore. That I'd have to go on insulin, and it must be working because the numbers are going down. And we tested Ron today, and he was at a 102.
Good.
And I said, "I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you."
Yeah, and now it's on.
See, that's the fun of doing it together, is you challenge each other and you catch up. But you are so right. But what a blessing. You've caught it before you did burn out your pancreas. You've caught it while you still have control and can do something about it. So, Terry, I am so proud of you, because I know where you was at a month ago, and that's a short time to reverse that much damage. So you're thinking that help you're doing for your kidneys, your pancreas is getting the load taken off of it. All of those things that are happening that we were just talking about with Sue at the cellular level that you're changing, you are changing the trajectory of your health right now. And I am so proud of you. And sometimes it just sucks. Nobody wants to eat sardines for 3 days. It's not fun unless you're one of the few people that love the sardines. But it is a cool example to show you.
I kind of broke down today, and I put some mustard with it.
That's all right.
No harm, no foul.
That's a good fall forward.
That's a fall forward. You got it. It is. But that's
just, I'm tickled. I mean,
am.
just to hear numbers like that going the right way.
And just to show to anybody out there that is diabetic, pre-diabetic, you can turn that around in a month.
You should be smiling.
Vicky,
I mean, no matter how hard it is, you should be smiling, because you cut it more than half.
Yep. Terry,
well, I knew it was a problem, because when I said 365, Tammy went,
"Oh yeah,"
and then didn't say anything, and I was like, "Oh, this is really bad."
That's a problem. We need to work on that. That's not you're going to do it when you get time. We got to fix this now. And that's one of those, when you're talking those kind of numbers, you're talking heart damage, you're talking cellular damage, you're talking pancreas damage, kidney damage. You're talking so many things when the numbers are that high. And just a rule of thumb, if you're waking up and that glucose is over 100 in the morning, that first morning, if you're over 100, that's at best pre-diabetic and still causing damage. That's more than your body can process and store or use. So, Terry, I am so proud of you. And by next time we check in, you're going to get closer and closer to Ron, and you're going to kick his butt, because us girls are going to win. We're going to win, and then we're going to go to dinner and show these guys how we do it. But he kicks in here in a minute. I get nervous when he starts, because things happen when he gets in ketosis. Really good. Terry, I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, the ketosis went up too. It's in the positive numbers now. It's I think it was a 1.6 today. So that's the highest.
Okay, so do you understand that as that glucose comes down, it allows the ketones to go up. So as you clean up that stored glucose, those ketones will start producing. Now your liver's getting involved in this game and saying, "Hey, I know how to do that. I'm making some ketones," because the glucose isn't there shutting it down. And putting it out. Those things, as that glucose comes down, the magic starts to happen. That's why fasting, whether it's the sardine challenge or it's a true fast, you're not ready for a true fast, but those sardines are showing you stop putting glucose in and let your body use up and do the work it needs to do. And
So my big question is, this weekend's Easter. We always have a big Easter dinner.
mhm.
I usually have it. I passed it off onto my sister because I did not want the taste testing,
Yep.
as they go. And so she's going to do it this year. And
Good.
still the temptation will be there for all the
Eat ham.
Okay, so that's actually a great point to bring up. We have Easter coming up. Anybody that hasn't been through a major holiday yet, I am not trying to be vulgar, but please understand, eat the meat, add the fat, cut the shit. That's the best way I can tell you. Don't go to your family dinner hungry. Don't go in and before you walk in that door, you sit in the car for a minute and I want you to say a little prayer of it is about the family that you are getting to go in and enjoy.
Not the food.
Not the food. The food is not the aha of the moment. It is having every one of those loved ones, whether you love to hate them or hate to love them, at that table that are your world. Look at the people. Concentrate on the people. Concentrate on the relationship. What's the cousin sitting over in the corner that you really haven't talked to in a year? Go catch up. Don't make it about the food. Make it about the people.
And it sounds
Don't go hungry.
It sounds weird to go somewhere and have eaten before you go to the meal.
That's not a disrespect.
But that way you put yourself in the best position to where you can succeed and still enjoy that whole meal.
And I bet you there's
you
going to
don't
be
have to eat everything
right. And I bet you there's going to be meat on that table.
somewhere.
Meat and butter, you can't go wrong.
Ham there.
There you go.
There you go.
That'll be my second day of my sardine challenge. So
There you
should I
go.
Eat a can before you go.
Yep. Eat a can before you go in. Have it all ready. And then go sit down. If you want a piece of ham with your family, sit down and have a piece of ham on your plate while you sit with your family. That's okay. We all can do this. We really can.
Yep.
And family is going to mean a little bit more. It's going to be a little bit sweeter this year. You appreciate it a little bit more when you've lost people. And you'll get there, Terry, but I am so proud of you. Everybody understand that from 300s to
65
to low
365 to 120.
That's huge. So
That's impressive.
take your win, pat yourself on the back, and that says you've done the work. So I'm proud of you. That's a lot of work. And everybody does know Terry lives on a dairy farm. So she's got all the yummy dairy around her that she could have. So that good yummy cream, but she's that we all need and that I just need. So good for you, Terry. I'm proud of you. Who we got? Judy, come on in, say hi.
Hi.
Hi, Judy.
Nothing terribly exciting this week. My numbers were, I was in the, my DBRs were in the 30s when they're usually in the 20s. So
Oh, darn.
Struggling, aren't you?
carbs as it were. So I have to be a little more strict. I just started a 72-hour clean fast. But as you can see me tonight, I'm drinking sun tea, unsweetened.
Nice.
Just
Nice.
feel like I'm having, like I'm cheating.
Right.
But things are going well. The one thing about an Easter dinner or a holiday dinner with family that's always helped me is be prepared with the excuses of, oh, look, I made this cake just for everybody.
Oh,
That's
Does everybody remember what Dr. Boz says about that? When everybody tries to guilt you into eating, no is a complete sentence. You don't owe anybody an explanation, and I love that.
No, thank you.
No, thank you if you
No,
want to be
thank you.
polite. But the rest of us hillbillies are going to say, nope, I'm good. And that's okay. That is, be prepared for that. You don't owe anybody. If you don't want to get into the keto discussion, say I'm doing an anti-inflammatory diet to better my health. So call it what you may, do what you may, have the excuses ready for Aunt Millie that doesn't want to hear keto's a bad word or whatever. Have your stuff ready, but no is the answer. Thank you. If you want to be nice, be ready for that.
good point.
exactly right.
Yep. Good job, Judy. We're proud of you again. DBRs of 20s and 30s, you're healing. You are reversing damage.
She
You are
looks good.
Yep, you got the glow. You can
Not losing the weight, so something's going on inside, but I've had health issues this year, and I'm like, that's fine.
yeah,
You know,
hold steady.
my
We
waist
got
is a
this.
little better than last week, so apparently something's working.
You're doing
Your,
good.
your face is bright. You have, you just look good.
I feel good.
Yeah.
I feel
That feeling good shows. So
Yep,
just so
it
you know.
does. And just to know that when you're not adjusting more and more like that, and you've got a DBR like that, think of the break you're giving your pancreas. Think of the break you're giving your kidneys.
Your
Think
body.
your body is just getting I don't have so much work to do. Remember when we're exhausted and we just want, can you imagine what our poor bodies are saying? Our bodies have just been exhausted of 24 hours a day fighting glucose, fighting this, keeping this alive. I mean, I'm a full-time job just to stay alive at any given day. So I get it. It's like, but giving your pancreas, giving those organs a break, that is huge. Just like with Terry. Can you imagine what her pancreas is like? It's on vacation right now, man. It's taking a break. It is cruising because of what the insulin it was used to producing. Think of how easy her pancreas is working today compared to where it was a month ago. So,
I think the biggest thing for me is to remember I've been doing this a long time.
Yep.
And, so when people look at my numbers, they're like, wow. And I'm like, whoa, no, you didn't see the beginning.
There's a romantic right there. I love it. Yeah.
No,
So-
that's good. That's the truth, Judy. I mean,
Yep.
it's your way of life now. So
And that's the cool part too, to look at for most of us that are veterans on here that have been at this for 3, 4, 5 years. This isn't a diet.
nope.
This is, what's the alternative? I will never go back to eating like I used to. If I do it for one day, I'm sicker than a dog. So
Yeah.
can you imagine doing it for week after week? That's the alternative to ever go back to the way we used to. We know better, we do better.
Yep.
And that is one of the things I truly hold to myself to I know what that crap's going to do to me again. And I don't care if that means it's a big old fruit smoothie that I used to love and think was going to heal the world. I can't do it. We went past a fruit smoothie place when we were driving yesterday.
That was funny.
And it was
She
like,
goes, "Oh,
oh,
fruit smoothie."
smoothie looks so good. And I'm like, it looks good, but there ain't no way it would kill me. It's just that. But when you think of that mindset that we've changed, how far we've come, this is my forever. I'm not saying I'm never going to go without ever having a fruit smoothie again. I will have, but it would be a treat. It would be a very small, whatever. I mean, I used to carry this thing around full of a smoothie all day long. Like it would be make one in breakfast, have a new one for lunch, have another one in the afternoon. I mean, that was my normal, was just fruit smoothies. Can you imagine my poor pancreas then? So good job, Judy. We're just proud of you. Good job. Tab? Who's Tab? Do we have it? Do you want to check in, Tab? And Jeff? Are either one of you there that want to check in? Not, I think. Any questions? If you got questions over on YouTube, write them in the chat and tell us where you're from on YouTube. We're getting curious. I want to see the analytics back there. So if you're on YouTube, tell me where you're watching from. I really want to see it. But Jeff, do you want to check in? Or Tab, do you want to check in? Anybody? Jeff, we got you muted. If you're trying, I think I see you. There you are. Come on in, check in. Give us a win, give us a struggle. And if you have a question, let me know. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yep, now we can.
Okay, well, I'm going to say I'm the oddball guy because I don't do it the way Dr. Boss says do it to an extent. I do 20 carbs. The scale is, honestly, I told Mom to take the scale and throw it in the trash can today. We talked for about an hour this morning. I told her to take a scale and throw it in the trash. Or take it out and run off the car. I don't care what you do with it. Because I told her the same thing you guys told her. I said, Mom, you're building lean muscle mass. I said, that's why your scales probably aren't going down. And she's like, okay. But I don't necessarily test every day because honestly, if I test every day, I'm going to quit. It's me. I just quit. I'm going to quit. My numbers are always low. They're 0.03. They're 98. And honestly, I don't care about the meter anymore because I'm not going to let it rule my life. If I let it rule my life, I'm going to be disappointed. And I'm going to go right back to my old lifestyle. So, I mean, I don't ever follow Dr. Boz's ratios. So it's not going to happen. I know how I feel. So that's kind of what I go by. I mean, I told Mom in 2021, I found a picture. I was probably 450 Mom can probably tell me I was probably close to 450 in the picture. When I weighed in with the doctor in October, I corrected, I was 414. But I realized I had my dog that summer that I just got from the animal shelter in March. So me and her were walking that whole time, every day, probably 2 miles a day. So I probably dropped. I'm thinking I probably dropped about, and I was doing low carb at that time, probably about 20, 30 pounds before I ever went to the doctor. So,
but Jeff, here's how you got to look at that. You've went from 450 pounds down. I mean, I don't even know what you're at, but obviously we know you've dropped a
I was
lot.
303 this morning. I was down to
Okay, so
298
you've lost
the
100.
other
You've
day.
lost a person. You've lost a
Mhm.
person, and just by changing the habits that you have and
Right.
doing, even if, I mean, I don't mean this disrespect, but if you're half doing proper keto or nutritional ketosis or whatever, the only thing Dr. Boz does is she does it to a level to heal at the cellular level. You are still in the stratosphere of being able to make small changes that are giving you huge results. At some point, when your weight gets down closer and you get more into your healthy BMI, then you may have to tweak your system that you're doing right
Maybe,
now,
yeah.
and you
I mean,
may have to go a little bit stronger. Most of us are too sick to not do Dr. Boz. Most of my followers,
Right.
we're people
Well,
that are heart attack, cancer survivors, all diabetics. We have to. The reason Dr. Boz is so beautiful in this program is we have a step-by-step when what you're doing quits working.
Right.
We know what to do. And when what you do quits working, and then you're really ticked off because you're doing work and it's not working anymore. Now
Right.
you know you're down to the cellular level. Right now, you're still losing water weight. You're still peeing,
Well,
water.
I've been stuck like for the last 6 months. Well, 3 or 4 months at 300. I cannot drop under 300.
Okay, so that means you need to stress to the next level.
Right.
So if you're
But
idle for that long,
but I've also not been on my bike like I was all last summer. So I'm really anxious for it to warm up so I can get back on the bike.
Yep. So that'll,
Because
that's going to burn glucose. That's going to,
Right.
bring glucose and stuff down and build muscle. So that's your
Right.
next stressor.
Yeah, I'm waiting on it to work. I told Mom the other night, when I first started on the bike, I was doing 3 miles. I'd stop and then go back 3 miles. And it was taking me close to an hour. I got down last summer to 6 miles in under 30 minutes.
Yep. So those kind of things, as your body stops responding,
Yeah.
then you got to make a decision on, do you want to go to the next level?
Right.
You want to keep doing what you're doing. If you're happy to just idle where you're at and you're happy with your results, you're happy where your glucose is, you're happy where all your numbers are, then rock it out.
I just don't produce ketones. I mean, I can't get above 1, period.
So what's
even in the middle of the day.
glucose run?
It'll start out like a 98. By the end of the day, it's down to 82.
Okay. So that's saying you still have cleanup to do, but if you're not hitting those macros, you're not getting the fat in you, we have to teach your liver how to make ketones. It doesn't just happen. I
stay in my macros.
Okay. Do you have it set like your mom was just saying with the 3
No,
setting?
I probably got to reset that.
Yeah.
I think I've got it set the old way, but I mean, I stay in that.
Okay. So if you're under, like I said, the chronometer, the max is 20. Most of my people are under 15.
Right.
Me and most of my veterans are under 10. So
Someday
I don't know where
I
you fall in that
10.
range. So
I'm usually about 20.
But you will, okay, so about 20?
Yeah, usually 20 to 30.
Anybody between 15 and 20 usually starts that cutoff of you're not going to make ketones if your glucose is, or if your carbs are that high. So it's just, Jeff, as you stretch it out and you get further and further down, when your body starts plateauing, that your answer is to stress it.
Yeah.
Take it to the next
level. I think I've plateaued, but I don't think it's because I've not been on the bike as much. I'm really curious once I get on the bike every day and start doing 9 to 10 miles. I mean, I want to get to 24 by the end of the summer.
But the only thing I would say in that, you should be able to still reach good numbers without riding your bike. Exercise builds the muscle. It does help. It helps burn the glucose, but you're trying to build muscle. The chemistry is built in your nutrition.
So I can stay down at 10 and still don't get high numbers. It doesn't matter what I do. I've done that. I've been down as low as 10 and it still doesn't change the next day.
But that's the beauty of doing Dr. Boz step by step by step by step. If you do it step by step, it will change your numbers. So when you're ready, then you jump in and do that. If what you're doing is working, then keep doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I told Mom I want to go down to maybe 275, 280.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get down 38, 40 pounds. Once I get there, I'm probably happy about that weight.
Cool.
You know, if I get lower, that's cool, but I'm not really sweating. And I mean, I think if I did my numbers every day, I would end up quitting and going back to the way I used to eat.
Yeah, but that's just a mindset that you've got to work through. You've got to work through that. You're teasing yourself. So,
yeah, because I mean, what I heard was that it doesn't. What if you go by your glucose? If you go by your ketones, that's just what extra is floating around your body. It doesn't mean what you're burning.
no, but that
So that's where
DBR,
I'm confused.
that DBR, when you do that ratio of the drboz ratio, that is going to give you the level of healing that you're doing. That's kind of that level of how deep in ketosis are you? What is that? The lower that DBR gets, the more healing you're doing, or the more reversing of the damage you're doing, or whatever terminology I'm supposed to be using. The lower that gets, the more you're doing at the cellular level. If you're just up here still, you're decreasing your carbs and you're still peeing out a lot of inflammation, you're working on the water weight, but we're still not rebuilding new healthy cells yet. So that's where I would challenge you is we want to build healthy cells is the goal.
Yeah.
So you'll get there, but
I've told Mom I feel good. There's times I can tell ketones are working.
But think where
I've got extra energy.
Think where you were at 450 pounds. You should be feeling better. You're carrying
I wouldn't have been on the bike.
You're carrying 150 pounds less than you were. You got to be feeling better. Good for you.
I do. I mean, I'm down to 42 genes. So I said, I told Mom today, if I get 28, 38, 40s, I'm good.
Good. You got this. When you're ready to go the next step, you give us a call. We'll help you. We'll be there. Any other questions? What do you got on YouTube over there?
I got Ivy asking questions. I don't know, he or she, I don't know for sure. So I'm just going to say they have been fasting 16/8, which really isn't a fasting. That's just an eating window since 1/22/24. So just since January, done low carbs, weigh 450 as of Saturday, lost about 13 pounds, gained 5.2 last 2 weeks. Macros are 90 grams protein, 10 grams carbs, 180 gram fat, calories around 2,000. Suggestions.
Yes, Ivy, I would suggest you go over, just because I have the grams there, it doesn't tell me what it is for you personally. So make sure your chronometer is set up. Go into those macronutrients. Make sure the first one is set at keto calculator. Drop down a couple more steps and make sure the second setting is set to rigorous. And the third drop down is make sure it's set at total carbs, not net carbs, because just giving me those numbers, I don't know, unless you could type in what are your, if you have all those settings in and that keeps it, if that's giving you the right macros to follow. So I would question to ask, what is your chronometer set up at? Your eating window sounds, that is 16/8, that can be tightened up. So 8-hour eating window is our beginner level. So it kind of depends on where you're at chemistry wise. Have you done every step of building those fat-based hormones and doing all of that to get those fat-based hormones working? That would be my suggestion. Let's tighten everything up. Let's clean up what you are doing, because it sounds like if you've hit a plateau, and the same thing I was kind of saying with Jeff is if you've hit that plateau, that means we've got to take your body to the next level, whatever that is for you. But we got to make sure that's why Keto Continuum. I don't know if you've done Keto Continuum, but that is where the 12 steps of Keto Continuum, you can't skip any of these. You got to hit every one of them as you build that chemistry, because that's what's going to help you. That's why this thing is laid on my desk for 5 years. It's you just keep reviewing it and going over it. What step did I miss? What do I need to work on? Where did I skip? Sometimes you push past them. Sometimes you push too fast and you go through and skip a step. That makes most of us veterans have all done that. And we have to backtrack. And we stop and pause and have to go back, get those fat-based hormones working, leptin, ghrelin, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. Those are all fat-based hormones. So we got a lot of work to do before we really keep pushing. But first of all, good job on the weight you've already lost. That's huge.
They said the settings are not set up like that. So.
Okay. So if your settings are not set up like that, that drboz way of doing it is, again, go into chronometer, macronutrients. Those 3 settings are huge. And maybe we just need to do a whole group, a whole meeting of just setting up chronometer. Because if those are not right, if your macros come up and say that it's over 20 carbs, those of us that have major healing, I know there's a lot of programs out there that coach and teach 50 to 100 to 150 carbs a day. I would never hit a healing mode at 50 carbs a day. I barely hit it at 15 to 20 carbs a day. So those, and you have to go by total carbs. The whole net carb thing is just a math BS number. If it goes in your body and your body has to process it, it counts. Every carb counts. So I don't get the luxury. Now, if I was a healthy 20-year-old kid with no major issues or something like that, no weight issues, no health issues, I may be able to get away with that little formula of playing with a net carb thing. But most of us that are dealing
lot
with
harder
life,
that way.
it's different. You go with total carbs. And like I said, 20 is the max, 15 preferred, 10 and under is most of us sick people. So when you really want to make that change, you really got to get strict in that. So Ivy, reach out. If you want more help, go over to the website or come over into the group Journey to Keto with Tammy. And we have a whole wealth of knowledge over there. Happy to help you. We can help you out day to day. We do put a post up every day that if anybody wants to check in on your numbers, the reason we leave those over there is so you can backtrack and go see where you were a month ago, where you were a week ago. You can go back through and look where your numbers and see how far you've come. And it's actually a nice little journey to take yourself on. And you learn so many things from other people and other people's mistakes. So it's nice when people share, don't just share the success stories, share the mistakes, because when we write that out, it's like the cream in the coffee is a huge one for me.
We learned.
Yep. Fits in my macros perfectly. I'm at 0 carbs there. I mean, we're good to go on that cream. I put that cream in and my numbers go right. I mean, it's just, it's frustrating, but it's a lesson that if you look at most of the keto world out there, oh, cream is fine. No, it's not. If you're not, if your body don't like it, all the keto boxes out there. We were in the grocery store this weekend trying to get stuff for family and everything. And just walking down those aisles that we don't even normally walk down, that had keto cereal and keto bars and keto this. You turn those things around, it's like there is more carbs in one of those bars than I eat in a week. I mean, it's just, there is no way I would heal if I played that game. And that's where I would challenge Ivy. Come over with us and we'll help you get that set up.
Okay. She said, or they said, when setting chronometer shows 37 grams protein, 20 grams carbs, and 330 grams fat.
Okay.
That could be there. There could be other settings in there that we need to set correctly too. Your weight, your weight, the amount of weight you want to lose per week. A lot of those things come into a play in that. So reach out. I put the link. If you scroll back through the comments, the link is in there for the Facebook group. I will put it in again. But go ahead and reach out over there. We can get into contact with you, and that way we can get you set up square.
Get you going in the right direction.
Right
so
direction.
It sounds like
anyway.
you're already doing great. So good job though. Reach out if you need help. We appreciate it.
I want to also say that we're clear across the map with the country. We have Susan turning in from Louisiana, Deborah at Sarasota, Florida, Paula from Oregon.
Nice.
So we're all over the map tonight.
Nice. That's awesome. So good job, guys. We appreciate everybody. Come over in the group, share your numbers. Tell us where you're at, what you need help with. And don't forget, check out any of the links that you need to reorder, stock up, anything like that is over on journeytoketo.com and under Tammy's favorites. So all your strips, all your information, anything that you need should be over there. If you need a link that's not there or not working, just reach out to me. We'll send you a new one. You know us in computers, so you never know what's going to happen. But we appreciate you guys. We will see you over in the group this week. And
thanks, everybody. Have a great week.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.